Every morning I wake up and grab a pencil and journey into the world of my mind that has the potential to take me to anywhere I imagine. I travel into invisible space and focus to help me capture the physical realm. Life is a journey and I'm living to dwell. Some rappers wanna test me lyrically, I'm giving them hell. Something like a verbal mystic, put them into a spell. Something like my words are twisted like this is a pretzel. See, I gotta bring them light if we living in hell. Positive, uplifting vibes instead of prison and jails. Put some soul inside the hollowness and give it a self. I am the laser chopping through you, making ignorance smell. Forever we delve in effortless skills as reverence builds benevolent shields. The mighty verbal messenger tell the messages revealed. Y'all repping it well. Leave heavenly trails of thoughtless left in the field.
We gon' sing from the roots to the roots, yeah. We gon' sing a little rhymes, a little stories. We gon' sing from the roots to the roots, yeah. We gon' sing.
Let's go.
In 2016, the FIH produced a groundbreaking program for the Rio Olympic Games, highlighting for the umpires and teams how a common approach to the interpretation of the rules of hockey could help make a tournament a fantastic spectacle. The purpose of the program was to clarify aspects of hockey that can be potentially confusing and that can have continental and global variation. The use of video to discuss rule interpretation is a valuable tool, and the presentation received great feedback from the various stakeholders. Since Rio, there have been some significant changes at the FIH, and a number of people from the 2016 program now find ourselves in new roles. I'm managing the umpires and officials at the FIH, and Enrique Ellis, who featured in the first program, is the chair of the newly established FIH Officials Committee. One of the tournament directors in Rio, Jason McCracken, is now the chief executive of the FIH. We are determined to build on the success of the new coordinated approach, and this new program is intended to serve as both a dedicated briefing for world level events and as a valuable training resource for nations and continental federations. So, in this updated program, new video footage from the Rio Olympics complements that produced in 2016 and reflects upon the success of the approach we took and the way the teams responded to the environment set by the umpires. So let's start by revisiting the four aspects that we identified as being crucial for Rio.
There are four aspects that will be key to our success.
Firstly, showcasing our sport. We want spectators and TV audiences to have the best possible visual experience. Although we're trying to present our sport in a particular way, there are aspects that can damage the image of our sport. An example of this might be players crowding the umpire after the awarding of a penalty corner.
Play. Okay. Anyone. Only I need one. No. So, I need you for crowding. There were 3 of you.
In Rio, we explained to the teams the importance of portraying our sport in a positive light, and there were very few examples of crowding. Here we see the team in yellow, although not happy with the umpiring decision, still allow only one player to have a discussion with the umpire without having confrontation that is visually unattractive. Around the world we have many examples of crowding and intimidating behaviour that can portray the sport in the wrong light. Of course we'll get situations where players do not agree with the umpire's decision, but there should be a level of discontent that is acceptable. But if it goes too far, the umpires need to consider a personal penalty. In Rio, we asked the team managers to consider the reputation of our sport and the way we want it to be portrayed, and they responded superbly. They passed this message on to their players, and we had no issues with the crowding aspect. Another aspect could be a player interfering with the video umpire process. There was a big lead up to the Rio Olympics, with the umpires having months to prepare, and for the umpires managers to work with them to produce a high quality team for the Games. We had high expectations and we were focused on making Rio a great visual spectacle. Teamwork, on-field pairings, co-umpire support, it's the key to a high-performing team. Do not underestimate the synergies that can be created when a team is pulling in one direction and only has one focus to service the tournament at the highest possible level.
Effective communication. We believe together we are better.
Operating as a team, getting a synergy from their pairing working, and a connection, a visible connection, is becoming much more important than each umpire doing their respective end.
We want to establish a relationship or even a partnership between team management, players and umpires.
For the tackle, right there.
It wasn't even a tackle.
Come on,
Just
you know.
down my foot.
Be careful.
Nathan, when you can, number 8 South Africa, it's receiving the t-shirt from number 6, number 8 South Africa.
Number 8, we are watching you, okay? My colleague is watching you. I don't want to send you off, all right?
Through awareness, proactive umpiring, the umpires will strive to create a safe and fair playing environment for the players to enable them to display their skills.
We want our team to be professional, we want them to be prepared, and we want them from day one to be delivering the highest quality product.
And of course then there are the technical aspect of umpiring, which we will unpack as we go along.
Enrique Ellis covered a session in the last presentation on accuracy of decision making. It really is the most important part of high-level umpiring. And of course it has direct application to all levels of hockey. In any sport, if the officials deliver the rules and regulations in a decisive, accurate manner, it will meet with popular appeal from the players and spectators. In this piece of footage, we see an excellent decision whereby a player is taken to ground by a deliberate breakdown tackle. You see this type of tackle often around the world, in all different grades, and the decisions are wide and varied. In fact, the rules state that a deliberate ball-related infringement inside the circle is a penalty stroke. The umpire awards this decision decisively and achieves player acceptance, even though it is a strict penalty against the team. The variation of interpretation occurs when players start applying their own theories and therefore start deviating from the rules. For example, some umpires may give a penalty corner and a green card. However, this is not what the rule asks for. And if an umpire is not prepared to award a penalty stroke in this type of situation, then tackling will deteriorate in the circle and exciting goal-scoring opportunities may be lost. Here's some other examples of accurate decision-making delivered really well by the umpire.
A free hit. German player is not retrieving 5 meters. Umpire lets advantage go. And after the game is stopped, he's giving a green card. That's accuracy in decision making.
Number 15, 5 meters there.
Nothing. Number 7. Okay.
We want players to feel like they can display all their skills, use them in a way that can create exciting hockey moments.
Yeah, and also confidence in the umpire that they will step in and that they will handle situations if their safety is at risk. We have a responsibility to differentiate between tackling the ball and playing the player.
And we must look at the impact that these situations have on the game. And we've asked the umpires in terms of their preparation to look closely at the difference between a player who tries to make a tackle and makes a mistake versus a player whose intent is to break down the play or to bring the player to ground. We've spent time trying to distinguish between what is a green card, a 5-minute yellow and a 10-minute yellow to reflect the implications on the game and player safety.
Here's a good example of protecting skill. Argentina is attacking, There is a stick tackle there. He plays advantage. They have a nice shot at goal. Situation is cleared, and now he handles the player with a green card. Here's an example from Australia against Great Britain. Mistimed GB tackle takes the Australian player out. Should have been a free hit and should have been a yellow card. Sliding tackles are dangerous and will be penalized with a yellow card of 10 minutes, even so that the player actually legally plays the ball.
In this piece of video, we see an attacking play by Australia. We can see the Australian player deliberately slide into the tackle zone. This action can be highly dangerous. The umpire awards a free hit against the offending player. However, because it's a deliberate act and the possible injury-causing nature of the slide, the umpire should also consider a personal penalty.
Dangerous tackles can happen everywhere, not only in a defensive situation, also in an attacking situation. Look at the Dutch player here after he loses the ball and he brings the Indian player down. In my view, this should be exactly the same as in a defensive situation, so this would be a yellow card. No matter where on the pitch, we will still penalize dangerous physical play. In this situation, this yellow card will go along with the penalty corner awarded. Let's have a look at two examples of players going to the ground. Here is just two players go to the ground, a slight collision, no danger, no personal foul. In the other example, here is the Pakistani player trying to play the ball. It's being brought down by a dangerous sliding tackle by the Indian player. This is a 10-minute yellow card. Here is an example of a 10-minute yellow card done by the Canadian player. And here is yet another example of a dangerous sliding tackle, which ends up in a yellow card to the Argentinian goal. Dangerous sliding tackles happens also at penalty corners. We've seen that quite a lot. No matter if it's defensive or attacking, dangerous sliding tackles, it is a 10-minute yellow card. And the last clip about protecting skill and physical play. Here the American player pushes in the back at the same time as tripping the player over with a stick. It's an easy decision, it's a yellow card.
Obviously, there will be variations on how umpires view dangerous tackling and danger in general. And as a result, sometimes it's difficult to say, should it be a green card, a 5-minute yellow, 10-minute yellow, or even in the extreme case, a red card. There are many factors that can influence the final decision. Angles, speed, time, clear view, and the way each umpire interprets the context. The word consistency is often used to describe the way these situations should be handled. The reality is, however, that there will always be variations in the way these situations are interpreted. But the umpires must work to minimise these variations so that the teams feel that they are being protected under the rules of the game. The application of the advantage rule is the trademark of our best umpires. Their ability to recognise situations, to hold the whistle and to allow the play to develop is what turns into exciting moments and then goal scoring opportunities.
It is about understanding what the players are trying to do and then allowing the players or giving them the opportunity to do what enhances the play.
The umpire has to be aware of the context of the situation.
Yeah, aware of the bigger picture of what is developing and what can develop.
Some actions, though, detract from the application of the advantage rule. Slowing down the play or tackling in a way that breaks down the play will not allow for these exciting moments to occur.
Talking about advantage is also remembering that sometimes the quick whistle is a greater advantage than just possession of the ball.
The quick whistle then creates self-pass opportunities. It requires people to retreat, get out of the tackle zone, and therefore it creates that advantage opportunity.
Here we have a good example. It's a breakaway by New Zealand. Clear chance in front of the goal, and the player is being brought down. It's a high impact tackle just outside the circle, so it would be a penalty corner to New Zealand and a yellow card to the German player. Here we have Great Britain in attack. Here's an infringement, and here is actually a very clear shot at goal, so the umpire chooses not to give the penalty and they play on. Very good work. Here's another example. And a very unfortunate stick by the German player. I think here, with this level of play, with the competence these players have, this has to be a yellow card for a breakdown tackle. In this clip, a very fast breakaway by Germany, a lot of breaking down by the Argentine player, ends up in a chance that the umpire plays advantage into the circle, shot at goal, and afterwards the umpire stops the time, and in my opinion this should be a green card for a breakdown tackle. Another great example of playing advantage with a goal in mind is this example. Here's a bad tackle. Canada keeps on the ball, plays upwards, still have the chance to score. And here we have the goal. Reward, goal, umpire stops time and should give a yellow card to that particular player for that breakdown tackle at the halfway line. Yet another very good example of playing advantage on the breakdown tackle and allowing the team to have a good shot at goal. Here are the Germans being brought down just outside the circle line. Good shot at goal. Now the umpire can choose to handle the breakdown with a personal penalty. The Canadian team is advancing and is being broken down by the Argentine girl. So it's a breakdown tackle, a yellow card. Even the most subtle of tackles can have a huge impact on the game. Here is a quick turnover to Argentina, and the German player are holding the Argentinian player. It should be a penalty corner and a yellow card.
We want to encourage the exciting 3D skills, but by doing that, always keeping the safety of the athlete in mind.
The most exciting times in our sport is when the ball is off the surface. These types of situations add real excitement to our game.
And almost request brave umpiring from us.
Well, sometimes the whistle needs to be held, and it's not always easy because there's a lot going on in these circle situations. The brave decision combined with that commitment to player safety can end up with an exciting moment.
Even though we do allow a lot more 3D hockey than we ever did, danger still exists, and we will blow when the game or the play becomes dangerous. Like in this example, where the ball lands between a big group of players.
Here's a good example where the space for the ball landing has not been determined by one player, and the umpire awards a free hit to eliminate the danger. Remember that even a shot at goal may be dangerous. In this clip, although the shot is on target, the fact that both attackers and defenders had to take evasive action shows that these players should be protected by the danger rule, and a free hit to the defence is appropriate.
Or in this example, where a reverse hit actually is off the mark and actually dangerous to the defenders just in front of the goal.
Of course, a defender choosing to stand on the goal line and occupy an area which is in fact the goalie's domain could not expect to have the same degree of protection. And often when a defender is struck on the line, a penalty stroke is the correct decision. The way the players interpreted the aerial ball rule in Rio was outstanding. It showed a great commitment to player safety in the spirit of the rule. The best thing about correct application of this rule is the advantage opportunities and the spectacular plays it can eventuate. One interesting aspect of the receiving part of aerial ball is how the interpretation has developed in recent years. Of course, the rule states that there is a requirement for all players to remain 5 metres from the receiver. What we are seeing in modern hockey, however, is that players who are within the 5 metre distance, as long as they hold off and allow the receiver to bring the ball under control safely, the umpire does not need to blow the whistle. Correct application of the spirit of this rule results in exciting plays and reduces the amount of whistle due to technical decision making. Raised ball is to be encouraged in modern hockey. The ball travels faster in the air, and players who can transfer the ball aerially can create space for players further up the field. Of course, player safety is paramount, but more and more we see players taking charge of these situations, and as a result there is less need for whistle. In the Rio program we spoke about the excitement that raised balls and aerial 3D hockey can provide.
In recent years, we have seen a tactic develop that defenders are going into the 5-meter zone and an aerial ball to break down play. We're going to penalize that.
The round of tournaments through 2017 are qualifiers to the 2018 World Cups. These are major events for the teams and certainly important in terms of television audiences, fans and sponsors. We must be at the top of our game. Hopefully you've done the preparation and together with your coaches and mentors, you've come to the tournament in high performance mode. The teams will accept nothing less. Be prepared to umpire any match. Celebrate every game like it's your last. Market your pairing and be excited by the performance you're producing. Have a dedicated commitment to the tournament briefing and you'll receive the tournaments you deserve. Not everyone can umpire a final. The maths just does not add up. So you'll be disappointed if your only goal is to umpire a final. You need to see your development and progress as an ultimate achievement and celebrate your colleagues' success. If it turns out that you're in a final, they will in turn celebrate your success. We are a large group of dedicated people trying our best to achieve a result. Know and understand your part in this. Tournament officials, umpire managers, umpires, ball patrol, volunteers, you are all incredibly important and the role you perform is appreciated by the FIH. Thank you all so much and have a great tournament.
Change of pace here from Callum, pulls the ball back, there's a chance to take the lead! What a goal from Jerome Hertzberger!
Come on, that's an easy decision, yeah? It's an easy fun. Just keep it calm, okay?
Backhand shots.
Oh, what a finish!
Unbelievable from Sebastian Dokier.
Big wide, what a finish!